See, now please tell me, all of you, what is written here? Here, the heading,
Fat.
fat content or fat, right? Let me, fat content.
Right.
Tell me fat content. What is this fat content? Is it continuous data or discrete data? What type of data it is?
Continuous data, sir. Continuous.
data.
Very good. Fat content is continuous data.
Measurable.
Why? It is measurable.
Measurable.
It is measurable. Very
measurable.
clear.
Not
Now you have purchased a cooking oil bottle. You have purchased a cooking oil bottle, and in that cooking oil bottle, it is mentioned that the fat content is 15%. How much is mentioned? 15%. Now you want to know whether the bottle cooking oil actually contains 15% fat or more than 15% or less than 15%. This is your doubt.
Okay.
So you have taken sample of cooking oil bottles. See here. How many samples you have taken?
13.
13.
13 samples you have taken. Your N equal to 13. You studied 13 cooking oil bottles by sending all of them to some laboratory, and the results came. These are the results. Now look at the readings. How much is the fat content? Fat content in the first cooking, no, let me show you. First cooking oil bottle, what is the fat content report?
15.2.
Second, 12.4. Third, 15.4. It is so on. Now you want to know whether your process is working fine or your process has lost its capability. What is the capability here? Producing cooking oil with
15% fat.
15% fat content. That is the capability. Customer might have given some tolerance, plus or minus. Let it be. But look at the variation. Can you see variation? If you are seeing variation, your process is deteriorating. Do you understand? If it deteriorates by a small amount, you will tolerate because customer has given you the tolerance. Till the tolerance, you will tolerate. But beyond the tolerance, will you tolerate?
No, sir. We cannot. Reject. Customer will reject the material.
100 mark is the exam. You are scoring 90. I will tolerate. You have not done well with the 10 questions. You scored 90. I will tolerate. On another occasion, you are scoring 80. I will still tolerate. You are scoring 70. I will still tolerate. You are scoring 60. Still I tolerate. But when you score 59, do you think I will tolerate?
No, sir.
I will deny your certificate. Right? The mentor becomes a problem now. He is not allowing you to receive your certificate. Why? You have crossed the boundary. Am I right?
Right.
So, which has crossed the boundary? You means your test mark. Test mark is a statistics. Here, what is the statistics? Fat content. Here, the statistics is fat content. Am I right? Statistics is fat content.
Incoming call from Byju's network.
Stat content is fat content. To be very specific, average fat content. Because we have 13 samples, right? So whether the average fat content has deteriorated or not.
Yes, sir.
If it has crossed the boundary, I will reject my belief. What is the belief so far in my company? I am a big brand. I produce cooking oil bottle. What is the belief so far? What is the belief?
that it is less than around 15% is the
Fat content is 15%. Your belief is the null hypothesis. Everyone in the company is believing that the process is going on correctly.
Yes,
That is the null hypothesis. Am I correct? Yes or
sir.
no?
Correct, sir. Yes, sir.
But now you are the quality manager. You are now finding a problem. And you have to tell them something wrong happened. Some changes are required. But you will say the problem, no, you will talk about the problem only when you are able to see a p-value of less than 5%.
5%. Less than 5%.
If you are not able to achieve a p-value of less than 5%, you will keep quiet. But if you get a p-value of less than 5%, then you will start, suspecting, hey, something wrong. make some changes in the process, make some improvement. So which is helping you to take the correct decision? P-value. So your understanding on the P-value is very important. Those of you who subscribe to my channel, I have posted 3 videos on P-value. 3 videos on P-value in English as well as Tamil. Whichever language is convenient to you, please go through the video, 5-10 minutes, gain a thorough understanding on P-value, right? But now Minitab is there, that is going to help us. So now data is continuous. Data is continuous.
Yes.
And the fat content is the problem. So we are using average. And now the company standard is available. Standard is how much? 15%.
15%.
Now this testing is called one sample t-test.
Yes, sir.
I'm checking whether my sample is equal to 15% or not. Now let me do it for you. Go to stat, basic stat, one sample t. Come here. Now summary or data. Now where is the data? Column number 1. Perform the hypothesis test. What is the hypothesized mean? 15?
15%.
Option.
Yes.
What is that you want? Your confidence level you want?
95%.
Moment you say 95%, you should look for a p-value of 5%.
P-value of 5%.
If I type 90 here, then my p-value should be
10%.
less than 10%, but the general standard is 95.
Yes.
Now, what is the alternate? Which is a problem for you? If the average moves above 15, it's a problem. If the average moves below 15, that is also a problem. Tell me.
Yes, sir. Sometimes, sir.
Then it should be not equal to. If you say, sir, only more than 15% is problem, then give more than. If you say, sir, below is problem, then say below. If both are problem, then choose this. I think both are problem always, isn't it? The company says 15%. Above 50 also problem, below 50 also problem. Below 50, not good for health. Above 15 also not good for health. 15 means beyond the boundary. Right? Tolerance.
Right.
Now I give okay. Again, I give okay. Now Minitab has done the job for me. Straight away, you look at the p-value. How much is the p-value?
0.016.
In terms of percentage, can one of you tell me in terms of percentage?
1.6%. Yes, sir.
Which means what is the confidence level you are achieving?
98.90.
Very good. So you can at least say confidence level is more than 95%. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Since your confidence level is more than 95%, you can now
then I
talk
pass.
boldly.
Go ahead.
You
Yeah.
can talk authoritatively. You go to your boss and tell, boss, now these
Material
people are
okay.
no more producing the cooking oil bottles as per the specification. I don't know what went wrong, but our cooking oil bottles are not as per the spec. Do you understand? You are now more confident because you have data, because you have a lower p-value. Now, since p-value, now go to our policy. Since p-value is less than 5%, what should I do now? Reject.
Material will be rejected.
Now that you have crossed the river, you can come to the ground now. Now, what does it mean in real life in my company? My cooking oil bottles, no more cooking oil bottles, no more meat. The specification, do you understand? Specification of
Yes, sir.
15%. Is that clear to you, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Customer
Yes, sir.
might have a tolerance. You can add that also, plus or minus, let's say 0.05, something. Customer could have given a tolerance. Is no more, no. My process has deteriorated significantly, which means the cooking oil bottles are no more meet the specification of 15%. So what is the remedy? Process requires investigation, right? Process requires improvement.
Investigation.
So you have to stop the production. Understand? All of you agree?
Yes, yes.
So a decision of going to the level of stopping the production, initiating the investigation, and seeking improvement in the process, you are triggering based on the experiment you have done. What is the
Yes.
experiment you have done? You have studied 13 samples, am I right?
Yes, yes, correct.
Either you be, on video, shake your head like this, or otherwise you speak.
Yes, sir.
All right. So do you understand? So that is the reason why, see, very, very important decision we are taking using a data. That is why your data must be credible. You are taking decision based on the data. You are going to the level of stopping the production. Stopping the production, you know how costly it is. If you stop the production for one day, how much your company might lose? Heavily. But if they don't stop, they will lose 10 times of it. That you only know, isn't it? Based on the study, you only know. You know 1, 10, 100 rule. If you spend 1 rupee in prevention, you save 10 rupee in correction. You save 100 rupee in failure. So you are stopping the production. But this is not an easy decision. So that is why you have done experiment. 13 data point. So now your data must be credible. Your data will be credible if your measurement system is credible. That is why you have done measurement system analysis. That is why you checked how much error the measurement system can give. Isn't it? You are taking decision with the 5%. You remember, we are allowing you to have an error of maximum 10%, not more than that. But look at the margin here. The decision is happening with the margin of just 5%. That's why, you should be very careful while collecting the data. Another thing is the sampling technique. These two will make your data credible, reliable. So you must master these two things. Probably on day 5 or next week, I would like to discuss with all of you on the measurement system analysis once again. Already I spoke about repeatability error, reproducibility error, but I'm going to take you little more deeper so that you understand what are we doing there in a deeper level. By all means, you must make sure your data speaks the ground reality. Am I right? If the data speaks the ground reality, then your argument with your boss will be perfectly all right. You will be respected for your argument. You will be respected for your decision to stop the production. All of you agree with me why we are doing hypothesis testing? Otherwise, after stopping the production, if they found that your suggestion is wrong, do you think they will appreciate you?
No, sir.
Yes or no?
No, sir.
It is, the situation is something like, I'm denying your certificate, but you did very well in the program. None of you will appreciate my decision, isn't it? But if you are not participative, you are not, up to the expectations of the black belt. I am warning you. Though I'm little, tough, you will still like me. Am I correct or not? Because I am correct on my point. You have not captured the learnings. You have not performed well. And so we are cautioning you. We are warning you. Please revisit the modules. Please go through the recordings. Please retake the test. Score well. Then only certificate will be given. Is our approach correct?
Yes,
Yes
sir.
or no?
Yes, 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 sir.
Only when your score is below 60, we come to that stand. Isn't it? So we
Yes.
want to be at least 60% confident that you actually become a black belt when you receive certificate from us. In order to increase our confidence level, we will tighten the procedure, we will tighten the exam, we will increase the passing score. You understand?
Yes, sir.
These are the ways we can increase the confidence level. Similarly, in your business also, you have to do it. And now, whatever we studied now, this is called one sample t-test. Now, the company producing the cooking oil knows that the population standard deviation is equal to 2.6. Population standard deviation equal to 2.6. What is population standard deviation? The company has been producing cooking oil bottles since last 1 year. Last 1 year, the quality team has taken several samples like this. All the data is available in the company. With all the data, the company can calculate what you call the average and standard deviation of the fat content. Possible or not? If you have the data, for example, we have produced, your batch is 19th batch. Am I right?
Yes.
Black belt batch is 19th. So this is 19th batch. So already how many batches of black belt we completed? 18 batches. Do you think the exam score will be available with me for all 18 batches? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So will I be able to calculate the average mark scored by the student? Do you want me to reveal the average score?
Yes.
Shall I reveal?
Yes, sir.
The average score is how much? 85%. Now, how do I say this 85%? I have the data. Am I right?
Yes, correct.
Yes,
I can
sir.
also tell you the standard deviation of the marks is 5. How do I? Because I have data. I know the formula, square root of summation of x minus x bar, the whole square divided by n minus 1, where n is the number of students. N is the number of students. How many students so far? Let us say 800 students. So now standard deviation is also known. Whenever standard deviation is known, instead of doing one sample Z test, one sample T test, you must go for one sample Z test. All of you, do you understand when to avoid T test and go for Z test?
Yes.
Come on, confirm.
Yes, yes.
One sample jet set. Yes, sir.
When to go for reject test? When should you avoid a T test, one sample T test? When standard deviation is known. When population standard deviation is known. Population standard deviation is known to me because I only conducted the training. I know the average mark, I know the standard deviation.
Standard deviation.
You all of you, please recall your discussion with the Prabhakar. You asked, sir, what is the pass percentage? Did you ask? If I join the program, what is the guarantee you will give me the certificate? You have asked the question, isn't it?
Yes.
Prabhakar should have told you 100%.
Yes,
Isn't
sir.
it?
Yes.
But I know the reality. The reality is here. The reality is here. Isn't it? If you are an outsider, you may not have all this information. Since I am an insider, I know the history. So I know the standard deviation. Sometimes standard deviation is known. At times standard deviation is not known. Depending on the situation. If it is known, your test is accurate. If it is not known, your test is approximate. All the decision is taken only using sample. But here, the population characteristics is also used for the decision. So Z test is more accurate. Z test is more accurate than T test. But I can go for the Z test only when population standard deviation is known. Now assume coming to this scenario, what is the scenario? The cooking oil, the company knows, company has the history of data. And the company has the history, according to the history, the standard deviation of the fat content is how much? 2.6%. So I will go for T, is a test or T test now?
That test.
Is a
Jet
test.
test.
Jet test.
So
Jet
go to
test.
stat, go to basic stat, go to that test. Now data summary or data? Data is available. Where is the data? Column number 1. Select it. Now see here, a new column has opened now. It was not there for t-test, isn't it? Now what is it asking? Standard deviation, known standard deviation, 2.6. Perform the hypothesis test. What is the hypothesized mean?
15%.
Nine.
50%. Option. 95% confidence level. For me,
Yes, sir.
both side is the problem. So not equal to. That means it's a two-tailed. Okay. Once again, okay. Now what is the p-value?
0.027.
2.7.
0.7%.
2.7%.
Are you able to achieve the confidence level of 95%?
No.
Yes.
Why no?
Oh, sorry.
It is yes.
Yes, yes.
You achieved the confidence level. We always look for the confidence level to reject the null. Please understand. Since p-value is less than 5%, reject the null. What is your null? One of you.
Means,
That the average of sample should be
15%.
15%.
2.6.
Average fat
Of fat
content
content.
is equal to 15%. What is your study is telling you?
it's not.
Please reject. So please reject means the process is no more good. Am I right? Am I correct or not?
Yes, yes,
Yes,
correct.
Yes, sir.
So what will be your advice to the company?
To initiate the 6.
Stop the production, sir.
Stop production,
Stop the production and do some
investigate the process,
investigation.
improve the process, and then continue production. Clear, all of you? Or how hypothesis testing is helping you?
Yes, clear, clear.
Yes, sir.
Things will be clear if you know how to use data. When you are swimming in statistics, you must swim completely. Then only you
Yes,
should
sir.
come to the land. Okay, you crossed the river. Now you connect to the ground reality. Now let us go to the ground reality of our. This is the ground reality. What is the fat content of your data?
16.
16.6.
One doubt.
How much is the expected fat content?
15%.
15%.
15.
16.6 is considered to be far away from 15. 16.6 is considered to be far away from
From 16.
15.
60.
How much is the difference? 1.6.
1.6.
But this
1.6.
1.6 is intolerable. That is the meaning.
Yes.
Why? Because your company has the record of very low values close to 15%. But now the average itself is at a distance of how much? 1.6. Average itself is at a distance of 1.6, which is intolerable. That is why you are advising the company to stop the production. Hey, something serious is happening. It's going on. The damage could have already started, or if you leave it just like that, the damage will start happening tomorrow onwards. So you are advising them, you are cautioning them, stop the production, right? Investigate why the average is moving. Average should not move. Isn't it?
Yes.
You are holding the gun in your hand. You are trying to hit the target, but your gun keeps on moving. Is it good for you? Is it good for your shooting? Will you be able
no,
to hit
sir.
the target?
No, sir.
You can't
No.
hit the target because your gun itself is not at the right place, isn't it? Can you notice that?
Yes.
16.6, your gun is in the air. Below 15, your gun is towards the ground. Where do you want the gun? On the target. What is your target? 15.
Process.
All of
Process
you do
improvement, sir.
understand what is that we are checking?
Yes, sir.
That's all. This is called one sample is a test. Clear, everyone?
Yes,
Sir, the decision of
yes,
the
sir.
5% p-value is initially it is based on type 1 or type 2 error. No, sir?
Type 1 p
Type one.
value is an estimate of type 1 error always.
Okay.
P-value is an estimate of type 1 error, which is critical to you when you are rejecting the null. In this case, you have rejected the null. Am I right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That is
Yes, sir.
why you are expecting the p-value to go below 5%. That is why you are expecting the p-value to go below 5%. If p-value is not below 5%, you should not have rejected null. Isn't it? If you are not rejecting the null, type 1 error will not happen. Type 1 error will happen only when you reject the null. Am I correct or not? Only when you reject a good product, manufacturer risk comes into picture, isn't it? If you are not rejecting a good product, no manufacturer risk. If you are not rejecting, don't worry about p-value. But if you want to reject the null, you want to caution the company, isn't it? You want to stop the production. You will do it only when p-value is less than 5%. Hope it is very clear to all of you, right? So now, let me show some slides also, so that you
Yes, sir.
all will clearly understand what is happening when you are in the river, isn't it? You want to know, all of you?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yes.
When you are in the river, what is happening? All right, for that, I am sharing my slides. All of you, please confirm, is that my screen is visible?
Yes,
sir.
visible, visible.
Same problem, but the situation is explained in detail. Explained in detail. A quality inspector select a random sample of 13 bottles of cooking oil to determine the mean percentage of saturated fat is different from the required level of 15%. The company has a history of data that revealed the standard deviation of saturated fat as 2.6%. Company has history of data and standard deviation is known. When standard deviation is known, which test will you go for?
One
That
sample,
one sample is
test.
a test.
Very good. When standard deviation is known, you should go for one sample. Don't go for t-test. T-test is inaccurate. Your wife has prepared the food for you. Will you still go for a hotel? It's not good for your health, isn't it?
Yes,
You have to have it. Similarly, of course, conditions will be very strict in the house. Whether food is good or not, you have to consume. But now, in our case, when the standard deviation is known, go for the accurate testing. What is accurate testing? Is a test, right? All right. Now, let's see here the conditions to go for is a test. Data is continuous. You are comparing the sample and you are taking a decision on the population. Am I right? What is population? The cooking oil bottles which your company is manufacturing, isn't it? The company is producing thousands of cooking oil bottles every single shift. That is the population. You are trying to understand the population by studying a sample of 13 cooking oil bottles. Now the test is, one sample is a test. Now comes the calculation. Can all of you see the data? 13 data point.
Yes, sir.
13 data point. N equal to 13. Population mean is 15, which is printed in the cooking oil bottle. What is the actual mean observed in the sample? 16.6. Population standard deviation is 2.6. What is the standard deviation we observed in the sample? 2.066. You can calculate, use the 13 data, calculate this standard deviation. Now, null hypothesis, saturated fat is equal to the required level. When I say equal to the required level, it is null. When I say saturated fat is significantly different, not higher, not lower, both higher also different, lower also different. Do you notice the wordings? Significantly different, which means not equal to. All of you okay with the null and alternate?
Yes, sir.
But one mistake is here. Can one of you confirm what is this mistake?
H1.
Let me see whether all of you are watching very keenly or not.
HA or H1, the alternate hypothesis.
Very good. It should come
H1.
I should make it H1. Very good. Good observation. This is called, listening and learning. Most of the time in the training program, you all, skipped the listening part and tried to learn. That is a problem. You must listen and then learn, right? So small mistake also should come to your understanding. Good. So now we are proceeding. And now see here, I am calculating Z score. So far, I have not taught you how to calculate Z score, isn't it? So Z score, what is the formula? X bar minus mu divided by sigma of the X bar. Sigma of the X bar. X bar means mean, standard deviation of the mean. Standard deviation of the mean. Now, X bar is sample average. Mu is the expected value. How much is the expected value?
15.
That means population mean, 15. Sample mean is 16.6. So for X bar, you can put 16.6. For mu, you can put 15. Now, in the denominator is standard deviation of the X bar. Standard deviation of the X bar. Standard deviation of the X bar is sigma divided by root of n. See, all of you should understand the difference between sigma and sigma of X bar. Can one of you tell me what is the difference between sigma and sigma of X bar? If you don't know, please ask for it. I will explain. At least we can save time. Should I explain?
Sir, I think X bar is for sample data.
No.
As
See,
of standard.
imagine you take a sample, of, let us say, 10 samples, or let us say you have taken a sample of 30 samples you have taken. How many samples you have taken?
30 samples.
30. Now, with all the 30, you calculate standard deviation, that is sigma.
Yeah. Okay.
That is sigma. Actually, again, we should say yes only because it is sample. Sample means sample standard deviation. Sample means sample standard deviation. So instead of using sigma, you should use yes only. You should use yes. But if you have all the data, not sample, the population is available. For the population data, there will be a standard deviation that was given by your company in this case. So that is 2.6. The meaning of sigma is this. Sigma means standard deviation. If you have taken 30 sample, then it is sample standard deviation. For sample standard deviation, the symbol is yes. Now, Vairavan has taken 30 samples in a slightly different manner. In the morning, he took 5 samples. In the morning, he took 5 samples. In the afternoon, he took 5 samples. In the evening, he took 5 samples. So whole day, how many samples he collected? How many he collected?
15 samples.
15 sample. Again, next day he goes. Morning 5 sample, afternoon 5 sample, evening 5 sample. That means he collected samples on 6 occasions. Am I right?
Yes.
Every occasion, he collected 5 sample. Every occasion he collected 5 sample. The first day, morning, 5 samples together are called subgroup number 1. First day morning, he collected 5 sample. The sample together is called subgroup number 1. So the afternoon 5 samples are called subgroup number 2. Evening 5 samples are called subgroup number 3. Next day, subgroup number 4. Afternoon, subgroup number 5. Evening, subgroup number 6. Now tell me how many subgroups?
6 subgroups.
6 subgroups. And in every subgroup, how many samples are there?
Yeah. 15 samples.
No, in every subgroup. How many? Every subgroup.
Five.
5. That is called subgroup size. It's called subgroup size. All of you now understood what is subgroup and what is subgroup size. Now tell me, when the subgroup size is 5, can you calculate subgroup average? Tell me, what is subgroup average? Average of the 5 samples collected by Bhairavan, am I right?
Yes, yes, correct.
Day one, the first day morning, he got 5 samples. There will be an average out of it, which is called subgroup average number 1. Bhairavan will also have subgroup average number 2. Am I right?
Yes,
So how many averages now Bhairavan will have?
6.
6 averages.
6 subgroup
Beautiful.
averages.
Now, will you see some difference or variation in the averages? Do you think all the averages will be same or different?
Same.
Different.
Different, sir. Different will come.
That difference is sigma here. Do you now understand the meaning of sigma of X bar?
Yes,
The
sir.
variation in the subgroup average. Because your data is collected in a subgroup size of 13. Do you notice here? Do you notice how many samples you have taken at a time?
13.
13 samples. This is the subgroup. And subgroup, standard deviation of the subgroup average has got a relationship with the population average. Standard deviation of the subgroup average has got a relationship with population average. So, the standard deviation of the subgroup average, if you want to calculate standard deviation of the subgroup average, you should have multiple subgroup. Am I correct or not?
Yes, sir.
Now, how many subgroup you have?
6. Yeah, here.
One,
Only one subgroup
one
you have.
One.
That is why to calculate the standard deviation, we use this relationship sigma by root of n, because sigma is known to me. When sigma is known, I can find out sigma X bar using sigma only. I don't have to take multiple subgroup, because when I take multiple subgroup, I need multiple samples. Too many samples. Do you think my company will allow me? Tell me. Always too many samples are costlier. Am I correct or not?
yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
I
Yes, sir.
want to take decision with less sample. Then only my company will appreciate me. So only one subgroup, but I use the relationship to overcome the challenge created in the environment. My company doesn't like me studying too much. So I limit my study to one subgroup, but still I want to be perfect. I should achieve a 95% confidence level. So I go for sigma by root of n. Now everything is clear. Calculate the research score. 16.6, 15.0, 2.6, root of 13, 2.219. All of you now understand how the research score is developed.
Yes.
Now you are swimming in the river. Am I right?
Yes, yes.
You are now swimming in the river. When you are swimming, you should not think about walking in the ground, right? If you try to walk here, then you will sink in the river. So when you are doing statistics, know statistics and do it. Just to go statistically, this is called a statistical solution. Once you understand the meaning of everything, then you can draw practical conclusion. Now there is a Z table, there is a Z table or Z table. The table says for 95% confidence level, 95% confidence level, your research score should be 1.96 and below. What is the table is telling? For achieving 95% confidence level, your research score should be 1.96 and below. If it is more than 1.96,
Reject.
your confidence level will drop. If your test mark is above 60, yes, I don't consider the situation as unusual. No, everything is normal, you are declared pass. But if you cross that 60 border, come below, my confidence level is going down. Am I correct or not? Similar rule in the normal distribution. When Z score goes above 1.96, please understand your confidence level will go below 95% for a two-tailed study. What is the study we are doing right now? One-tailed or two-tailed? Two-tailed. So 1.96 is permissible, but your Z score, the Z score has already exceeded it. Already exceeded. So that is the reason why you are rejecting the null. All of you understand why we are rejecting the null? The process has deteriorated. Do you understand, all of you? Process deteriorated. the production must be stopped simply because the data from the process has generated a G-score which is beyond the permissible value. 95% of the time, any process, any two-tailed process you are running in any company will produce a G-score of less than 1.96 only. But in this case, in this particular case, in your company, you are generating a G-score of more than 1.96. Do you think your products are going to be world class, best in class?
No.
It cannot be. Best in class will always generate a G-score of less than 1.96, but you are not able to achieve it. That is why you are rejecting the null. Rejecting the null means stopping the production. Rejecting the null means investigating the reason for the deterioration. Rejecting the null means improving the process so that the Z-score can come below the boundary. You can try to compete in the market. All of you, do you understand how statistics is connected with the real life?
Yes,
Now,
sir.
Sir, one-
yes.
sir, when with the p-value, we are rejecting the when we had the p-value less than 5%,
Yes.
we were
When we are having less than 5, see, there are two methods. Both method I am explaining you only to
yes,
know,
sir.
only to equip you properly.
Yes, sir.
So far, the easy method, p-value. Now, the real swimming in the ocean, I mean, in the river. Right now, the G-score, because the test is G-test. Test is a test. For the G-test, G-score should be less than 1.96 for a two-tailed study. This also I will prove it. This also I will prove it. Right, less than 1.96, but your G-score has gone beyond. So you should not tolerate. You should not tolerate. And you must reject the null. And now the conclusion is the sample average differ significantly from the required level. So you don't have to tolerate the difference and you reject the null. And now I am showing you the Minitab report. Look at the Minitab report. Minitab has generated a p-value. Minitab has generated a p-value of 0.027. All of you please understand. P-value you are seeing in my graph. Are you able to see the p-value in the graph? Green color area.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
G-score. Are you able to see the G-score here? On the left also G-score is available. The right also G-score is available. You understand? You have the G-score here. You also have the G-score here. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
How much is this value? 2.22. In ideal condition. What is ideal condition?
15%.
That is here. That is here. In ideal condition, what will be the G-score?
2.22.
Zero. Center.
Yes, sir. Yes,
In ideal condition, no deviation. You go back to the formula of G-score. Sample average is 15, required also 15. So G-score will become 0. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So in ideal situation, your process will generate a G-score close to 0. If your process the process in your company produces a G-score of close to 0, can I now say your process is world class?
Yes, we can say that.
That's all. That's all. You have become a black belt now, this moment. So you understand your level based on the G-score. G-score close to 0, you are doing extremely well. Nobody can compete with you. You are doing exactly what you have planned. You are executing the plan perfectly and it is happening in real time. That is reflecting in the G-score. All of you understand? When the center is 0, the distribution is called standard normal distribution. Standard normal distribution, the center is 0. Normal distribution, the center will be average. Do you understand? In normal distribution, the center will be X bar, isn't
Zero.
it? The center will be average. The average will appear at the center, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
But average can never be zero. Average will always have some value. Look at the average. Average is 16.6. Average can never be zero. But in an ideal condition, average will be zero. What is ideal condition? You have become world class. That is ideal. You understand? Specification is 15%. Your products also has 15%. Now you are really, really world class. You are no more a human being. You have become a god. You are very kind to your customer. Do you understand? Right?
Yes, sir.
Your normal distribution, if it becomes a standard normal distribution, your process has become world class, right? So where is my judge score? Whether my judge score is at 0 or judge score is deviating from 0. When you are born with all good qualities. Am I right? All of you, am I correct or not? All of us
Yes,
are
sir.
born, when we are born in this world, we are extremely good. Am I right? We never speak lie. We never go against anybody. But as we grow, slowly, we become worst, and we are what today? Now we are here. Are we fit to live in this world? The normal distribution table is telling you. You are fit if the G score is at least within 1.96. Government is telling within 1.96. But we have noticed a G score of 2.22. Now we are unfit. Do you understand? The process, what we are running in our company, from world class, it has deteriorated. Now it has become an unfit process. So you are going to the extent of stopping the production. When the best in class company is working in this manner, why should we work here? We should also move our G score, become 0, which is possible only when we study the process and improve the process, otherwise not. All of you, do you understand the relationship between P value and G score?
Yes, sir.
P value is the region beyond your G score. Region beyond your G score. When the G score is moving away, you can see the region is going down. Am I right or not? When G score is 0, let me draw a line here for you. Let me draw a line here. When G score is 0, the line is at the center. Am I right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes, correct.
What is the area to the left of the G score? 0.5. 0.5. Am I right?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Area to the right of the G score also 0.5. Now take any one side.
0.5.
When the G score is from 0, it is moving. What will happen to the 0.5? 0.5 will decrease. Am I right? 0.5 will
Yes,
become
sir.
0.45. You have 50 lakhs in your bank account. The family spends 5 lakhs. Still, how much you have? 45 lakhs. You are still okay, isn't it? You still tolerate. Okay, you have spent 5 lakhs. Okay, I can tolerate. Now what happened? Another 5 lakhs gone. G score, no, it's further going. Another 5 lakhs gone. Slowly, your bank account only has 5 lakhs. Do you still keep quiet?
No, sir.
5 lakhs, when it is coming down, okay, you can adjust. But now your family is spending the money like anything. Now 50 lakhs has become what? 5 lakhs. If you don't react even now, you will be left with nothing. Isn't it? You will be thrown out completely. So that is why if we go to the last 5%, we should be extremely careful. We should alert ourselves. Hey, stop the spending pattern, which is not good, isn't it, for the future? So that is the point. 1.96. All of you, do you understand what is 1.96? 1.96 is your last 5 lakhs.
Last boundary line.
Right, law 5. That is why whenever P value is below 5%, you are stopping everything. Hey, stop all the nonsense. No more nonsense permitted. Isn't it? We will investigate. We will give importance to research, study, and then we improve. So there is a connection between your Z score and P value. All of you, do you realize that?
Yes, correct.
Yes, sir.
That's all about hypothesis testing. Hereafter, when you look at the p-value, you don't have to think too much like this. No, not required. Look at the p-value and go with your decision. We are giving you a shortcut. P-value less than 5%. What is the shortcut? Reject the null. That is the shortcut. Am I right?
Yes.
If you are able to reject the null, you have crossed the river. Isn't it? You have crossed the river. You have seen the p-value. You realized what is happening. And now you take a decision. Clear, everyone? And now you can generate the p-value using Minitab, because p-value requires a deeper thinking. Carl Friedrich Gauss, he did the thinking for us and he created a beautiful table. If you want to see the table, I can show you, right? He developed a beautiful table. From the table only, all the p-value are coming. And nowadays, referring to the table has become an old method, like using the phone with the keypad. Anybody using the phone with the keypad? None of you, right?
No.
All
No,
of you
sir,
are
sir,
now using the Android touch screen. So the touch screen is Minitab. Touch screen is Excel. We no more need to use the normal distribution table and all rest of time. Isn't it? So touch screen is easier. Same way, go to the Minitab, generate the p-value. That is why we have not explained you. But if you want, we can have a visit the normal distribution table also and try to understand. And in Excel also, Excel is also a touch screen. Look at the formula. 0.027 is generated using Excel. This is the formula. 2 is coming. You know why 2 is coming? Two-tailed study. Why 2 is coming? Two-tailed study. Normal distribution, because our assumption is normal distribution. Z-score. Z-score is how much? 2.22. If you know the Z-score, substitute here and all remains, the pattern, and now it will generate the p-value for you. All right, clear everyone? All of you? Hypothesis testing is over now. Are you confident? All of you, please confirm.
Yes, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Very, very clear.
Yes,
Very
yes,
clear.
sir.
When you use Z-score, the test is called Z-test. When you use T-score, the test is called T-test. When you use F-score, the test is called F-test. When you use chi-square, the test is called chi-square test. When you use the what you call squared variation, the test is called ANOVA. Sum of squares, right? So there are different tests. And now let me also show you one more thing. For the same problem, let us understand. Oh, it's already over 9. Let us understand the t-test. See here, same problem, I convert into t-test. Now, only thing is, what is the difference between z-test and t-test?
Yeah, standard deviation, sorry.
Standard deviation.
Yeah.
If you know the population standard deviation, test is accurate. Don't know the standard deviation, test is going to be slightly inaccurate, right? But the purpose will be solved. When you have the breakfast prepared in-house, it is healthy for you, right? When the breakfast is prepared in-house, it is idli. But when you order from the hotel, that is also idli. But the difference is, it may not be as hygienic as you prepare in the house. It may not be healthy as healthy as you get it in the house, right? That's the difference. But both are idli. Same way, when population standard deviation is not available, you can use sample standard deviation. Do you understand? Population standard deviation is your in-house food. Sample standard deviation is food from the hotel. When we go for hotel, when something is not available in-house, isn't it? When population standard deviation is not known to you, that's the situation, you should use sample standard deviation. So population standard deviation is not revealed to you. For some reason, your company has not provided you the data. Now, how are you handling the situation? Look at the difference in the formula. Do you notice the difference? Do you notice the difference?
Yes, yes.
We are using S here, not sigma. Actually, again, I think I have to make some correction. I'm sorry for it. This is not SX bar. This is only S. What is this? Only S. S is how much? 2.066. Can you see that? 2.066. And N is number of samples, subgroup size, 13. Now, what is the T-score you are getting? 2.79. Like I told you, 1.96 for G-score. For T-score, it should be within 1.78. For T-score, it should be within 1.78. But are you fulfilling the condition? No. Your T has gone beyond the boundary, isn't it? That means your process is deteriorated. Are you ending up making the same conclusion? Yes or no?
Yes. Yes, sir.
You reject the null, stop the production, investigate the
null.
process, improve the process, continue the production. Since the calculated T is more than the tabulated T, you have ended up rejecting the null, which means the conclusion is same.
See,
Sample average differ. Sample average differs significantly from the population average. And Minitab report. Look at the, what do you call the T-score? You can see the T-score, right? Whichever we calculated, the same thing is coming, 2.79. And look at the p-value. So instead of switching from Z-score to T-score, T-score to F-score, F-score to chi-square, chi-square to sum of square deviation, we don't want you to trouble. Focus on your swimming. Don't worry about whether, the nature of the river. Don't worry about it. You focus on swimming. That is why we advised you to look at the p-value. Don't look at the T-score and other things. Do you understand the complication and the simplicity with the p-value? Complication with the statistics and simplicity with the p-value, isn't it? P-value helps us take decision very easily. What is the rule? P-value should be
Less than 5%,
Less than
we
5.
need to reject the
less
null.
than 5% for rejecting the null.
Null
Very,
hypo.
very simple rule, single rule, clear-cut rule. Otherwise, you have to run between pillars. Calculate Z-score, go to normal distribution table, consider the two-tiled study, and pick up the table value, which is 1.96, and check whether it is below 1.96 or not. Don't do all those things. Only look at p-value. Which is simple? P-value, simple. Clear? And p-value can be generated using this. Some of you, if you have time, revisit the video. I will post it in the channel and revisit the video and use this in an Excel sheet that will throw away the p-value of 0.016. All right, this is how the topic of hypothesis testing is going. Hope it has brought the clarity. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
We have mastered Z-test. We have mastered T-test. Same manner now, with you can easily master any hypothesis testing. All right. So, all of you, will you be able to spend another 5 minutes with me?
Yes, no, sir.
Yes, sir.
2S, remaining S. Do you all see my screen, Minitab?
Yes, sir.
So instead of taking you to the old method of, typing the messages in the keyboard, now we are using, the Android, right? Same way. Instead of taking you to the old normal distribution table, let me show you the normal distribution using Minitab. Go to the graph tab, go to the probability distribution table. Now come here, view probability. Okay. Now come here, right? Come here. What is this distribution you want to see? Can you see so many distribution here, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Right?
Normal distribution.
So many distribution here. You have beta distribution, binomial distribution, Cauchy distribution, chi-square distribution, so many. But if you learn properly with us, you can handle all the distribution only by mastering normal, which is so smart idea, isn't it? Very smart. Instead of studying all the distribution, study only normal distribution and then handle all the situation. I will teach you only next Wednesday how to do that, right? So how to handle other distribution using our knowledge of normal distribution alone. Now, normal distribution is selected. Mean value, mean is 0. When I say mean equal to 0, what does it mean? Is it still normal distribution or standard normal distribution?
Standard normal.
Standard normal distribution. If you are very kind to everyone, you are no more a man, you are a god, right? So mean is 0, standard deviation is 1. When mean becomes 0, standard deviation becomes 1, your distribution has become standard normal distribution. Now go to the shaded area. Now which area you want to see? You want to see two-tailed, right? Two-tail is available in the third, am I right? Can you see both tail? All of you, do you notice the third one is showing a two-tailed scenario, am I right?
Yes, sir.
Area on the right side, area on the left side. Select this. Now click the, what you call, probability. The right side area and left side area together should be 5%. Together should be 5%. Together should be 5%. Right side, that means right side area is how much? 2.5. Left side area is how much? 2.5.
Yes.
What is the area between the two lines, these two lines? 95% inside. Hope all of you understand. Now for this situation, I want to know the G-score. G-score means the value of X here, value of X here. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Let us see. What is the G-score coming here?
1.962.
That is the reason why when you get a G-score of more than 1.96, you can understand you are spending your last 5 lakhs. If you still don't control your spending, you will be running a heavy risk. Am I correct or not? Can you spend your last 5 lakhs just like that?
No, sir.
You should not. Right? Last 5 lakhs is significant for me. For some people, last 5 crores will be significant. For some people, last 5,000 will be significant. Whether it is 5,000 or 5 lakh or 5 crore, depends on where from you generated the judge score. I generated the judge score using the fat content, isn't it? Lost 5% of my, cooking oil bottles are the worst things in my process. Please understand. I don't want to see cooking oil bottles having a fat content in this region, isn't it? They are so bad to my customer. Am I correct or not? I will always see to that my cooking oil bottles are here. The last 5% of my outputs should not go to the customer. That is the objective. That is the goal. Hope it is clear to everyone.
Yes.
All right.
Right.
That's all. I stop here. And to equip all of you with the analytical questions, I will be sharing a few videos in the chat box. You are expected to go through the videos completely to stay comfortable during the exam. To stay comfortable during the exam, right? So since you have spent this extra 40 minutes or 1 hour today, I think you might feel a little more comfortable with respect to the hypothesis testing. Am I correct or not?
Yes.
Yes.
Same way, you
Yes,
can
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
stay fully comfortable even in the exam. Not only the exam which you are going to face this Saturday or next Saturday. Any exam you write, you will feel highly comfortable, right? So whatever required, I'll be putting it in the WhatsApp group. Please acknowledge and then take some action. I could see most of the time you people are not acknowledging anything. If you are not acknowledging, it means you are not involving. If someone is not involving and you cannot be committed and you cannot, be part of the result. So please always acknowledge and always take some action when we are giving some instruction. And you have ample time to, come again, right? The exam green belts, you will be writing the exam this Saturday. And the black belts, you will be writing the exam next Saturday. You have a lot of time in between. So please do, do certain things sincerely so that you will see your skill set, transforming to a great level, and which is possible only when you take some actions based on our instruction. And your responsibility is also important. Not that we do everything and then transformation happens. No, even we do everything, unless and until you take action from your side, nothing will happen. Right? So I stop here. If there are no questions, we can close the meeting. Thank you everyone for your time and the rest of the learning.